Okay, wow, we have a list of 110 participants so far, so this is really outstanding and wonderful. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Laura Pavlik, and on behalf of the USAF, we'd like to offer a warm welcome to our first class in our new series of online classes. Putting this series together has been a collaborative effort between Yamada Sensei, the technical committee, the board, the working group, myself, and Karen DePaulo. Because the USAF has such a diverse and highly qualified group of instructors, we chose to feature 3 instructors in one class as a way to provide a sampling of our community. We're also excited to be able to invite people from all over the world to participate, as we are both on Zoom and Facebook Live. The class will be divided into 3 continuous 20-minute segments, each beginning and ending with the sound of a bell. That's the sound. Your microphones will be held on mute until the end of class, at which point we will open it up for everyone to say hello again when we're all done. So let's get started with today's featured instructors. Sylvie Firestone Sensei from Aikido of Westchester, followed by Jim Soviero Sensei of Aikido of Red Bank, and Harvey Konigsberg Sensei from Woodstock Aikido. Thank you all, and let's begin.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura, and thank you everyone for being here. It's such an honor and a privilege to be in spending this time in this space with you today. So let's bow in. Okay, onegaishimasu. Okay, so I'll begin. I just have to close this window here. All right. Let's begin with a little bit of a warm-up. Just a little, get some blood circulating. And let's twist. That's fine. And circles. Big open circles. And stretch it up and greet the sky. Stance. Knees back. Lips. Make sure you need to hold your toes. Keep it straight. And twist. Twist. And to the right. And to the left. And let's do a little bit of walk on the knees, little circles. 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 And stretch. 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 And side to side, shift your weight. Keep it even. And gently bring yourself to the floor. Let's do a little bit of rolls. And bring it to your butterfly. Take a And bring it to your toes. Another deep breath through your nose and exhale to your toes. One more. And bring it out. Just do a quick stretch. Grab the toes. Keep your back straight. One more time. And body twists to the left. And switch. Switch again. One more. And pick it up. Let gravity take it. Okay? Deep breath through your nose, exhale through your mouth. One more time. And good. All right. We're going to get into Migi Kanai. We're going to do a Tano Henko. And come. Switch your stance to Higari Kanai. And come. Stance. And come. Switch your stance. Come. Hold you. Posture, back straight. Switch your stance. Other foot. And one more. All right, from this stance now, we bring right foot forward. We'll work on kaiten footwork. So slide kaiten, face 180. Slide kaiten, face turn 180. Okay, so slide kaiten, slide kaiten. Together, slide kaiten, slide kaiten, slide kaiten. Now move the balls of your feet if you can. Slide and move on the balls of your feet. Keep your feet light. You don't want to get into strong, you don't want to go into your foot to the ground so that you can't move. You want to slide, and if you can't slide, keep it light so that you move from the balls of your feet. So, together, slide, sheep, roll, roll, each, two, and two. Now let's take it to full stretch with your partner. Slide, kaiten, bring it up, and stretch your partner. Slide, kaiten, bring it up, twist, and stretch your partner. Slide, kaiten, bring it up, stretch your partner. And each, knee, she, go, go, and switch, and touch, and coup, and ju, and hold your stance, posture check. Good. All right, from there, let's work on a little Irimi Tenkan movement. So step in, Tenkan, bring your arms up, and down. Right? Go back. Irimi Tenkan. Check your posture and your stance. All right, so together, right foot forward, and each. 1, 2, 4, 4, 6, 2, 3. So when you do your Irimi Tenkan movement again, you want to keep your hips level to the ground. So you don't want to jump up and down when you're doing this, right? You don't want to go this way and down. So although your arms are going up, your base here, your hips are staying level. And you move from your hips. Another thing you want to look out for is that you don't want to flail your legs out as you're moving. So you don't want to go up and flail as you're doing this, okay? So try to keep your body slim as though you are doing this in a very narrow corridor. Okay, together, Ikimai, and each. Keep your arms moving forward, san, shi, go, wo, shi, ku, ku. Okay. With this, we're going to do little practices though. You have nage coming at you with a shomanuchi strike. Right? What we're going to do is catch it in an ikkyo ura movement. Okay? And pin. So, from this view, I catch the arm, I pivot to tenkan and twist, kaiten, and pin. Okay? So let's do this together. Right foot forward, maybe kamai, and each. Grab the arm, twist, and pin. Knee. Maybe kamai, san. Shi. Go. And try. Roll. Speak. Ooh. And June. Okay, so that was an ikkyo ura. Now, we're going to try receiving ikkyo as uke. Okay, so I want you to pretend that you're hitting someone your size. You catch your arm, right? So get ready to shift your weight. Open up those ribs while you're still looking at your nage. They have your arm now, and they're going to turn it. So go down on your left knee, and your right and your left hand. Shift your weight to the other knee, then bring your shoulder down, and bend your left knee. And pretend you've got a pretty firm nage. Let's do this with Hidari Kai. I go to my strike, receive, and shift my weight. Bring my hand and knee down. And then shift the left knee and shoulder. And receive. All right, let's do this together. Let's start together. Knee high. And you'll be hitting with a shoulder to strike with your left hand, your daddy. So strike, hit, boost, receive. Bring it down, your knees in your hands. Shift your weight to the other knee. Bring it over your shoulder. And strike with your right hand. Hit, receive. Remember to always look at your nage. Bring it down, shift your weight to the other knee and shoulder. Okay. So we're going to strike with left hand this time. So strike. Oh, bring it down. Shift your weight. Right. Right hand or left hand? Right? Right hand. Okay. So we're going to shift. Thank you, assistant. Strike, receive, and bring it down. Shift your weight to your other knee. And now, one of the things that I like to do when I do this, if uke releases too early, or also why I bring my shoulder down that way, why supporting my arms. I'm very careful not just jamming my shoulder, and you have to really control this when you're doing this on your own, especially. So. Strike, receive, bring it, you're supporting with your knee in your hand. When you're shifting, you still have a strong support here, so gently bringing your shoulder to the ground. And from there, you can just do a simple roll. Okay, so let's try it with the roll this time. So strike with your left hand. Strike, receive. Bring down your knee, shift your weight. Roll over. And strike, receive, bring down. And roll. And let's do one more then, guys. It's about to go. This is your best one. Strike, receive, and okay, so I hope that everybody got a good little warm up from this little kemi exercise. And I will pass it on to Jim Soviero Sensei, who's going to really bring it up now to the next level. Really looking forward to this one. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Sylvie Sensei, for that great class. I do want to take a brief moment to thank Laura and the board of the USAF, especially Yamada Sensei, the board, for putting this whole thing together and for including me in this first session. Really, really honored and humbled that you guys would consider me, and very grateful for that. So I'll do what I can to follow that great act of Sylvie. So so what I've been doing actually with our dojo is before we were allowed to congregate outside in at limited capacity, which we've been doing in our parking lot. We've been doing Facebook Live sessions, and what's been pretty popular is a lot of what Sylvie Sensei was doing, demonstrating the role of Nage and Uke in solo movement, really employing the imagination to have that invisible partner. And what's great for me is, in my own practice with all of this, is to really be a strong litmus for posture, as she was mentioning, alignment, stability, right? And just a lot of internal work that maybe we don't give ourselves the opportunity to explore when we're with partner practice. So, and also introducing some weapons applications to open hand movement, right? So, so maybe to keep things a little thematic, if Sylvie Sensei doesn't mind, maybe I'll go into some the boken expressions of some of the things that she did. So if you have a boken, go ahead and take hold of it. Otherwise, it would just continue with some open hand movement that she was already showing us. Okay, so. some of you may practice live sword arts. If you do, you know the bato or the draw, and of course this is a piece of wood. So we're no strangers to using our imagination, you know, with invisible partners. And now we have imaginary swords, as we know, for years of weapons practice in Aikido. So doing iaido or bakuro, right, there's very specific kata for the draws and for the return to the saya, right, the noto, so the bato. There's very specific forms there. So for Aikiken, just do a very basic idea. Again, what I want to do in my draw is to think of some of the principles in our open hand practice that we use. So things like expanding in both directions, forward and back. As Sylvie Sensei was talking about, the lower body settling in as the upper body extends upward, and front to back. So thinking, you know, in those, at least those 6 directions, side to side, front to back, top to bottom, right? Almost spherically, like a sphere, right? So when I draw, again, I want to imagine that blade is coming out of the saya that's still at the hip, and I'm expanding the blade forward with the forward movement of my right side and drawing back with the left side at the same time. Those who do live sword, that sayabiki movement, right? Drawing the saya away from the blade at the same time. So if you want to give this a shot, palm is slightly up and then rolls. A lot of this came from Sugano Sensei, so I'm very honored to train with him for the years that he was with us. Most of you know the 10th anniversary of his passing is next month, so a little dedication to him. So the hand is slightly up, palm up, and then opening in this way, right? So again, you're just drawing, opening, and then coming into this hammi kamai. So you're defending your center line so that the kisaki, the very tip of the sword, is just under your sight line, tending slightly toward your forward shoulder. Your hands are at rest in front of center at the knot of the belt. Right? And if you don't have a bokken, right, again, this is a very simple, just simple, maybe, the hammi practice, right? We're just changing hammi and just making sure that the fingertips and toe tips are aligned with as you change your stance, right? And then if you have the bokken, you're doing the same thing. So just looking to keep that kisaki just under your chin, and as your hips change with your hammi change, so does the angle of the blade, so that you should have almost a parallel sense of the blade to your torso. So it's a resting position, but it's still an intentional position, right? Still want to extend out through the, not necessarily this way, but you're thinking, projecting intentionally out through the end of the sword, the kisaki, right? Okay. That's a basic, and then Sugano Sensei often had us, and this was just, you know, opening practice to many of the weapons classes he would do, is to change hammi by advancing and retreating, right? So we would advance forward with the left side, and retreat back, retreat again, and then advance. Maybe we'll just try that sequence a few times. You do it on your own at your own pace. Okay. All right. So maybe we'll touch a little bit on what Sylvie Sensei was showing earlier. So she started things off with kokyu hold from kaiten, right? So certainly you can do a movement like that from kateridori and tsuki. It's really the same setup. You know, in one case, the hand is closed, the other, the hand is open, going for your wrist. And it all depends on how Nage invites uke into their space. If it's here, There's the opportunity for tsuki. If uke gets close enough within striking distance and suddenly nage extends their forward hand, then what might have been tsuki becomes kata nedori, right? So it's the same dynamic, right? So when we were earlier working with kaiten into kokyu ho, let's think about that with the bokken, okay? So we'll start with the right side, and again, no bokken, no problem, just continue open hand. So extending kisaki out, right? Almost in a sort of a lateral slashing kind of a feel, right? You want to lead out through the ha side, or the cutting edge side of the blade, as well as the kisaki. So as you do your kaiten, you're out. Then straight up center line as you come into jodan, right? And as you do that, draw your left foot forward. So we're starting with the right foot, and take kaiten, left foot becomes forward, draw that in toward the right as you raise into jodan, and then pivot and cut. Right? And that would be your kokyu ho. And take the left side forward, kaiten, extend out, draw your right foot in as you raise into jodan, and then move in for your cut. All right, right side. Left side. Migi hanmi. Hidari hanmi. Do a couple more. Okay, all right, so that would be sort of a basic approach using the bokken as an expression of either kata nedori or tsuki, kokyu ho, even ryote dori can work very well, right? So we do that often in our partner practice. Okay, let's look at Shomenuchi Ikkyo. Okay, so Sylvie Sensei did that. So let's look, since you started with Ura as Nage, let's look at that, right? So we'll take Ura, even though when we demonstrate as instructors or leading class, or if we're taking a test in front of Yamada Sensei or any of the other technical committee members, right, we're always asked to demonstrate omote before Ura in those katame techniques, right? So we'll start with the right side. So we'll take Yurimi Tenkan into Ikkyo Ura. So raising Jodan, Tenkan, cut. And if you want, you can take it all the way to the floor, not necessary. But when I showed this in some of my classes online, I wanted to have students really think about how the kisaki extends out on your tenkan, really cutting to the rear as if you're leading uke's hand away from their body to keep, this is the further the arm from the center and the center line, the weaker. So that's kind of the effect we want to create in uke. And so we want to have that translated into the bokken movement as well. And also, when we were taking Yurimi Tenkan with the Ikkyo arms, right, instead of just coming straight up your own center line only, we were also projecting up and out, right? So see if you can do the same with the bokken. So instead of just bringing this straight up, extend up almost like you're pushing forward and then into jodan. So it's here and then out, right? And we'll switch it up left and right. So left side, right side, left side, right. Migi hanmi, hidari hanmi. And again, that self-check for me, I really want to be sure that my foot, it's almost as if the Ken is pulling my leg forward, so that all this is together. And then as I take Tenkan, it's as if it's pulling the blade through. Okay. All right, and then Sylvie Sensei also touched on the ukeri for ikkyo omote. So let's look at omote with the boken. So when we covered this in our sessions, we did it from, on the right side, we did it from the bato, the draw, right? So if you think of Nage's roll, right, Shomen is coming, you're sliding your knee, extending up toward the striking arm, rising as uke rises, filling the space immediately under the arm, connecting the lead hand up the forearm to the lead attacking wrist of uke, all as you slide in, cut, enter on the first diagonal, and then draw out on the second diagonal, right? So we're going to work that with the boken. Again, if you don't have the boken, just do the open hand. But because we're going to do a little bit of a different thing, left to right, I'm going to do just the right side for several times, and then we'll switch to the left side. Okay, so from the right, we're going to draw. That's where the side would be tied at the obi, right? So we're going to draw out and right into position as if to cut for ikkyo, right? Here, and then ski, right? There's your projection forward as you have the wrist and elbow, and then an outward cut up. I'm falling out of frame. We can come a little more this way. So if I take it slowly, it's out this way. As soon as the blade exits my left hand, I'm going to have that join. And ski, and then out. And of course, if we're taking technique to the floor, we're down, right? And if you don't have the boken, okay, so. So again, just the right side. Take a couple more on the right. Okay, all right, so left side, a little different because we don't draw the sword with the left hand from the right hip. So what we'll do to sort of simulate what we did on the right side, imagine those familiar with the third suburi, where we into Jodan, stepping back with the right, and then lowering the blade to the right hip. So we'll start from this position, okay? So left foot is forward, blade already out of the saya, kisaki behind you, and everything at the rear hip with the left hand at center. And then we're going to do the same idea. Come up. Now with the third subori, those who know it, we coming in with a step, but instead we're going to slide, extend forward, cut, and then the same thrust and cut out. Here, and ski, and then out. And again, really project through the kisaki at the end, again, leading uke's arm away from their body through their hand as you take hold of the wrist. And again, another self-check for me, especially for this one, is to be careful I don't come over my shoulder on this, which can tend to happen, especially if I'm trying to move quickly. So directly overhead so that you have a clean center line cut. And then first diagonal ski, second cut out. Take a couple more on the left. Okay, good. I assume, can't see you all. So we'll go ahead and, looks like my time is close, so let's look at the noto. Again, piece of wood, as we all know, no saya, as we know. So really using the imagination and dowing this with razor sharpness and the lacquered wood tie here. So again, for basic Aikido, just sword is drawn, kisaki toward the floor in front of you in the right hand, and then secure your hand around the opening of the saya, draw your hip forward, projecting the opening forward, joining your hands, the blade away from your hand, the sharp edge between your thumb and forefinger, and then creating like a rail underneath of the sword as you step back. It keeps contact until you find the opening of your fist without looking, and then you can drop and bring everything together. And then again, imagine the Soviero, right? Secure here that you untie and carry it freely in the right hand. All right, well, thank you all so much again, and I can't say enough about this opportunity, and I look forward to all the following sessions that will be coming up in the weekends to come. So thank you again, and Harvey Sensei, looking forward to your class.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jim Sensei. For people who think that this is not real Aikido, I think they have to rethink this. We're not doing it what we want to do, how we're used to doing it, but it's an opportunity to really study inside and go through what we do. So pretty much, I've been lucky enough to, many of us who have studied with Sensei, Deshi, the Mara Sensei, Mara Sensei, I Sensei, Shihan, you know, and so just observing over the years, trying to put things together, what we felt, because this is an art that's transmitted through, directly, through physically touching each other. So right now we can't do that, but what we can do is concentrate on the parts that we're moving from. So a lot of us already know, basically, when we do Tenkan, it's where you do it from. So this is my wife, Carolyn. She'll be my UK. I know some people will have people with them who did, but mostly I want to stress just what I always pretty much do stress when I teach. When we do everything, I had an experience with Yamada Sensei just a number of years ago, when it was my 70s, called me up to take Ukemi, and that's all he did was just kind of henko, and all the breath left my body. I went, how did that happen? It was the fact that it was something that it's hard to explain, but when you feel it, it's a very palpable experience. But it's when you're grabbed, it's not that Carolyn grabbed me and I go here. This is what we start with, right? This, in a sense, is when we move from here, right? And we try and leave here. If I leave from here, she's free, right? Okay, even this one here. Touch, quick, right? Quick. Right. So, what you do when you do take on or do any movement, basically filming, I absorb here. Even here, right? You can learn this just simply when you take the bokken or go and you raise it, you feel this part that your arm can come up, but you're absorbing here, right? And it's all, so what I experienced basically was, this is all in this movement here, right? That when you're attacked, you always absorb the attack in the center of the body and ground it, and ground it, literally, okay? So right now, I want to take Joe, I'm going to get Joe, or whatever you have, okay? When you take the Joe, let's say start left tummy, just let it come right up here, okay? And we'll start just from speed. Right? Speed. And yokum, right? Speed. Speed. Yokum, huh? Speed. Right? Speed. And yokum. Now just move the body freely. But now when you're moving, I want the arms to stay out. Just as when we train, this is Soviero Sensei, when somebody attacked, here, right? This wasn't this, breathe, here, come, yeah, come. Here, come. You're already here. So this is not a counter now. This is just free movement with the jaw, right? So here, but I don't want prayer, and this is not incorrect. But right now, I want the arm staying out. Anything that you want to do, basically, just keep. So when UK comes, right? You don't see grabs hard. My mind doesn't go here, right? And grab hard. Right? This is what this develops. So 1, 2, move. Keep moving, everybody. And keep the arms extended as you do this. So you get used to this feeling. Right? So when you train, that means that you're not just moving a jaw, you're letting the jaw move you as okay comes. Right? So if I come here and I go here, be free here. Right? So in this case, when UK grabs, for instance, my finger, quick partner, and controls me, right? If I put my power here, right, again, she controls, yeah, right. Okay, from here. Let go. So this in this case, no matter where you grab, you're directing it, you're redirecting it to here. If I get strong here, you can, right? But if I feel here, I leave it in my center. I don't contest any point where that's been attacked. So if he attacks my shoulder, I don't respond here. Right? So in this case, from working the jaw like this, basically, your attempting is basic first, okay? So now we'll take Boken. And as Jim Sensei taught me, humming and keeping Tsuki at partner's throat, here and here, right? Right. Now, Saburi, right? Yay! 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Say, tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So when you do this, let everything out. All the frustration that we have, staying inside, not being able to do what we want to do. So just like if it's rage, if whatever it is, express it, just release it, right? So if it's the virus you want to kill, that's what we're doing, right? Whatever, right? So again, everybody count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, I'm tired. Now, what we're going to do is something I do for personal training that's a little not traditional. When we cut, usually same side, same hip forward cut. One, right? Now, instead, when the Boken comes up, same side hip will come up, and as you cut, the hip will come back. Okay? So using just one hand now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So usually I watch, and this is a simple move, but we're so used to cutting one way, right? That it's hard to think in terms of it's automatic. It happens to me too, but in this case, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. And that gives you the ability So when uke grabs, your hips have to go both ways. Here, go under, right? In this case, if one hip turns and puts me in this position, she cannot get under this. In this case, my hips are here, uke can get under. Back here. Okay. Yeah. So, and moving, if you want to move somebody here and it stops, it's almost too late to do it this way, unless what you train, the hip turns without anything moving up here. Right? You're freeing the hip to move both ways. And it's like almost, basically. So then now take the left side, please. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then eventually you want to just, when, let's say, from here, this is free. So now you have the both head going up and down vertically and your hips moving horizontally. So this is free. So this frees your attention in your mind. Instead of going up with the bulkhead and here, the shoulder stays here. And this is automatic. So, for instance, now, Carolyn, please. So I apply neurotypology. Right? Stops me here. Now, at this point, the feeling is usually that I feel the power here, and my inclination is to put power here. Now, I have a strategic advantage here, basically, but still, I'm giving up my center when I go here, which is what we don't want to do. So here, this feeling, huh? So the temptation is not to keep leading and then go back into like this contracted feeling. This is, and then here, move, keep moving. Okay, right? Okay. So again, when we go back to our dojos, then we have to take, the space, you know. So for instance, with masks, right? She grabbed to go these both hands, right? This is, and learn to keep my distance so we can take advantage of the social distancing for the training, right? So okay, comes and whoop, okay. So I don't, this is not a magic stick right now. There's no, I find where this lever is. And this gives us basically, well, pretty close to 6 feet, right? And if you do, you hold them coming up, please. And I grab, go ahead and just move. But yeah, now you're not going to move around me. You're going to move around this hand here. Yes, that's it, that's it. So the temptation in training is we keep moving around uke, but we're really not. And if once I move around uke, she becomes a center. So here, I move around her, he's a center. Here, I move around myself, I stay the center. She has to take 2 steps at least to my one. Okay? So pretty much I believe this is what with the advantage of using here, right? Anytime I feel this is like, it's kind of an instrument to really be sensitive, like the weather vane, to where power is coming. So if I try and take over power, no. This is my ability to, like, no matter how hard, okay, grabs. Right? So again, so now we can, it's a minute or so. Let's just walk the boot, okay? Okay, and now letting the hips go both ways and changing the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 8. Just read about it. Okay. Again, I felt good. So anyhow, thank everybody for coming. And it was very, I think it was incredible. I learned watching Sylvie and Jim. I learned a lot. And so I hope everybody feels the same way. And thank you very much. Okay? Hey. Glenda, we'll bow out now. Hey, thank you.
Hey, dopo riusciamo state.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So quickly, we just want to thank Sylvie, Jim, and Harvey Sensei for your great instruction and for volunteering your time to help launch this series. And thank you to all the participants on Zoom and Facebook Live for joining us and making this a special event for everybody. In addition to these adult classes, the USAF is really committed to supporting the younger generation of Aikido practitioners, and we're eager to help keep them engaged in the art as well as feeling connected to the larger Aikido community, which, as you know, we all feel is very valuable. So if you can help spread the word, next Saturday at the same time, 1 o'clock on July 25th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll begin our Aikido for Kids class series with Arturo Peel from Aikido of New Orleans, teaching our first class. So again, thanks to everyone who showed up today. And if you guys want to unmute your phones and your devices and say a hello and a goodbye. It was great seeing everybody in the beginning and getting to hear each other's voices.